Minnesota Vikings general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah has finessed the draft board, and they've completely revamped the secondary, adding Lewis Cine as well as cornerback Andrew Booth Jr. But the offensive line still been an issue, and Kwesi got after it in the second round, taking LSU guard Ed Ingram. Now, Ed Ingram, consensus-wise, seen as a little bit of a reach, but pass protection-wise is why Ed Ingram is being brought in for the Vikings. He's phenomenal in pass protection, but even though there were guys like Dylan Parham and Zach Tom and Darian Kennard and Donovan West still on the board, the Vikings planted their flag. Ed Ingram is going to be the guy in the second round here, and he will firmly be in the mix on the Vikings offensive line going forward. So let's talk about the new Viking O-lineman today. Background, 23 years young. Turned 23 in February. We'll get to why a little bit older of a prospect in a second. 6'3", 307, redshirt senior, former four-star recruit from DeSoto, Texas. Took his talents to LSU, class of 2017. Played 741 snaps for the Tigers as a true freshman at right guard. Was suspended in 2018 due to off-the-field issues that were eventually resolved. Charges dropped. Was a spot starter for the 2019 undisputed national champions. Of course, teammates with Justin Jefferson back in the day. 2-year full-time starter the last 2 seasons for the Tigers. Posted an 82.6 PFF pass blocking grade in 2021, allowing only 11 pressures, 2 sacks, and 1 penalty, which is basically 1 drive of Oli Udoh last season. It's not great. Does have experience in both right and left guard. Played left guard exclusively for the last 3 seasons. Pass blocking, like we mentioned, is his specialty. Also plays with great awareness. Twists, stunts, playing games up front, which has been an issue for the Vikings, just communicating among the 3 interior offensive linemen. Ed Ingram does a very good job of that up front. So, scouting report. This is from Lance Zierlein of NFL.com. Guard prospect with an up-and-down 2021 that muddles his evaluation heading into this year's draft. Ingram's run blocking is a notch below his pass protection and might not be an area where he improves enough as a pro. He lacks prototypical girth and bend for leverage and power at the point of attack, and his motor to sustain blocks is inconsistent. However, teams with patchy pass protection along the interior could bump Ingram up the board due to consistent work in protecting the pocket. Ingram's physical and play profiles are a bit mismatched, but could have himself drifting between starter and backup during his career. So great. But what he said about teams who need pass protection, bumping them up, that's certainly the Vikings. Now, the Vikings offensive line, for the issues that they've had, they've been very solid in run blocking. Of course, with Dalvin Madison, King Kennedy doing the thing. But pass protection is where they've had issues. And now you look at the Vikings offensive line. So obviously you're good to go with Darrisaw and O'Neal as your bookends. Who knows what happens at center? Maybe it's Chris Reed. I don't know if Ezra is guaranteed his left guard spot, even though he progressed very nicely last season. Again, different regime, different coaching staff, different GM. So who really knows? But I do like the soup that the Vikings are putting together in terms of the interior offensive line. So Ed Ingram can play both guard spots. Maybe they even see him as a potential center. Jesse Davis, who was a terrible right tackle for the Dolphins, he was perfectly fine as a guard. Chris Reed, who was great spot starting for the Colts last season, can play guard and center. Wyatt Davis, they experimented at center last season. Maybe they'll continue that experiment. Garrett Bradbury is there. Austin Schlottman has experience with Chris Cooper and Riscotti coming up from the Broncos, and Kyle Hinton. I'm not ready to give up on the pride of Washburn. Go Ichabods yet, man. But overall, I think that it does make sense where, yeah, maybe the Vikings did reach for Ed Ingram in this spot, but the number one thing that they needed to improve up front was pass protection. And Ed Ingram is phenomenal in pass protection. He's got a great anchor. The running game will come along. And frankly, if the Vikings are rock solid around him in the running game, I'm sure that Chris Cooper can get things going with him in that department. And then just if he can stand his ground, hold his own in pass protection, I mean, that's the start. That's the absolute start. So I do understand, they went through the background check, the red flags. Apparently they came up clean, so that's why the Vikings are reaching for Ed Ingram and his pass protection. So we'll go from there. But overall, I mean, the Vikings checking those boxes. 3 positions of need checked off: safety, cornerback, and offensive line. I think Kwesi's doing a phenomenal job so far as round 2 comes to a close. But let's know your thoughts on our thoughts. Vikings draft LSU guard Ed Ingram. Let's know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull Production Value.